Alright, let's talk about what's going on with the Canadian Open and why this situation with Jannik, Novak Djokovic, and the tournament director's frustration might actually reveal a much bigger problem in tennis. Here's the thing, when three of the biggest names in the sport pull out of a Masters 1000 event, again, it's not just bad luck. It's a symptom of something deeper. And personally, I think this debate over player withdrawals is way more complicated than most people realize. Let me break it down. First, the Canadian Open is a prestigious event, but it's getting treated like an afterthought by top players. Now, tournament director Valerie Tetrault is clearly frustrated, and I get it. From her perspective, they're investing resources into hosting a tournament that's supposed to be a marquee event, but they're getting ghosted by the biggest stars. But here's the twist, blaming the players feels like missing the forest for the trees. What many people don't realize is that the ATP calendar is a physical and mental minefield. These tournaments aren't just back-to-back, they're relentless. So when players like Sinner or Djokovic opt out, it's not laziness. It's survival. Now, Tetrault's pushing for changes to the ATP structure by 2028, which is interesting. She's not just venting, she's trying to rally the system to adapt. But what exactly needs changing? Let's unpack this. The ATP's current standards for player services and fan experience are apparently falling short. And honestly, this isn't just about better amenities or VIP lounges. It's about relevance. If fans aren't showing up because the top players aren't there, what's the point of calling it a Masters 1000? In my opinion, this highlights a growing disconnect between the sport's governing bodies and the realities of modern athlete management. But wait, let's flip the script. Why do we assume players should be obligated to play these events? If you're Djokovic, chasing Grand Slam history, why risk injury in Toronto when you can rest and prepare for the US Open? It's not just about ego, it's strategy. And here's the kicker, the 2-week format of Masters 1000s is killing them. Players have to stay locked in for way longer than makes sense for a non-Grand Slam. From my perspective, this format is outdated. Tennis is clinging to traditions that no longer serve the sport, or the athletes. So what's the solution? Shortening tournaments? Offering bigger incentives? Or maybe restructuring the entire calendar? Tetrault's pushing for dialogue, but I wonder if the ATP's real issue is competition. These events are losing ground to the Grand Slams and even the next-gen stars. If fans aren't excited unless the big 3 or 4 show up, the sport's in trouble. One thing that immediately stands out is how this mirrors what's happening in other leagues, like the NBA prioritizing load management. But tennis hasn't figured out how to balance player health with commercial demands. Here's the deeper question, is tennis stuck in a cycle where its biggest events rely too much on a handful of stars? If Sinner and Djokovic keep skipping the Canadian Open, does the tournament evolve, or fade? Personally, I think this is a test for the sport's adaptability. Do they force players into a mold that's unsustainable, or reshape the system to keep both athletes and fans invested? The answer might define the next decade of tennis. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, should tournaments like this be restructured, or is this just part of the game?